Ever felt a little flutter of nerves, or maybe even a tiny bit of panic when you step up to the hotel reception desk in an English-speaking country? You know that moment when you need to check in or ask a question, and suddenly all your English words just disappear?
Oh, absolutely, Lily. It's such a common feeling, even for those who've been learning English for a while. The hotel environment, it's new, it's a bit formal sometimes, and you want to make sure you're understood perfectly, right?
Exactly. And that's exactly why we're here today. Welcome back to Thesaurus Thrive, where we help you speak English naturally, confidently, and without all that stress. Today, we're diving deep into English conversation at a hotel.
That's right. We're going to break down all the essential phrases and situations you'll encounter from the moment you walk through the door until you check out. We'll cover everything from booking a room, checking in, asking for help, to settling your bill.
Our goal is to give you the words and the confidence to handle any hotel situation like a pro. We'll make it simple, clear, and very practical, so you can start using these phrases immediately. No more worries, just smooth, easy communication.
So grab a cup of tea or coffee and let's get started on boosting your hotel English. This episode is going to make your next trip or even your next staycation so much easier.
All right, let's begin with the very first step, checking in. This is usually your first interaction, and making a good first impression and feeling understood is key. So you walk into the lobby, you see the reception desk. What's the first thing you say?
The simplest and most common way to start is, "Hi, I have a reservation." Or you can be a bit more formal. "Good morning, afternoon, evening. I have a reservation." The word reservation means you've booked a room in advance. It's like you've saved a spot.
Yes, reservation is super important. You might also hear or say, I booked a room, or I made a booking. These all mean the same thing. After that, the receptionist will usually ask for your name. They might say, under what name is the reservation? Or, could I have your name, please?
And you just state your full name clearly. For example, it's Lily Smith, or my name is Ava Johnson. Sometimes, if your name is common or difficult to spell, they might ask, could you spell that for me, please?
That's a great point, Ava. Spelling out your name using the phonetic alphabet can be really helpful here. But even just saying Lilysmith slowly and clearly is perfect. After confirming your name, they might ask for your ID or passport. They'll usually say, may I see your ID-bought passport, please? Or, could I have your passport for a moment?
You just hand it over and say, sure, here you go, or here it is. They'll also often ask for a credit card. This is usually for incidentals, meaning extra costs like minibar items or room service. They might say, and a credit card for incidentals, please? Or, we'll need a credit card for a pre-authorization.
Pre-authorization just means they temporarily block an amount on your card, but they don't actually charge you yet. It's a common practice. You can say, no problem, here's my card, or, of course. Sometimes they might tell you about your room number and give you the key.
They'll say something like, your room is 502 on the 5th floor. Here is your key card, or here are your key cards. If you have a physical key, they'll just say key. If you have a card, it's a key card.
Now, this is where you might have some questions. It's totally fine to ask. For example, what time is breakfast served? Or is breakfast included? These are really important questions to ask, right?
Definitely. Or, what's the Wi-Fi password? Or, is there free Wi-Fi? Most hotels have it, but it's good to confirm. They might just tell you the network name and password right away, or they'll tell you to find it in your room.
Another good question is, where is the elevator? Or where are the lifts? Elevator is American English, lift is British English, but both are understood. Or, could you tell me how to get to my room?
They might give you directions like, take the elevator to the 5th floor, turn right, and your room will be down the hall on the left. Or, the elevators are just past the lounge. Don't be afraid to ask them to repeat if you didn't catch it all the first time. It's better to ask than to get lost.
Absolutely. You can say, could you repeat that, please? Or, Sorry, could you say that again? And when everything is done, a polite thank you or thanks so much is always appreciated.
Okay, so let's recap some key phrases for checking in. We have, I have a reservation under your name. May I see your ID passport? Could I have a credit card for incidentals? What time is breakfast? What's the Wi-Fi password? And where is the elevator?
Perfect. Now let's move on to during your stay. You're settled in your room, but maybe you need something, or you have a problem. This is where the hotel staff can really help.
One common thing is needing extra items for your room. You might call reception and say, Hi, I'm in room 305. I was wondering if I could get an extra towel, or could I get some more shampoo? You're asking for extra or more of something.
Exactly. They'll usually respond with, certainly, we'll send someone up right away, or no problem, it'll be right up. You can also ask for extra pillows, blankets, or even an adapter if you forgot yours.
What about if you're hungry? Room service. You call reception or a dedicated room service number. You can say, I'd like to order room service, please. Then they'll usually ask, what would you like? And you tell them your order.
Make sure you clearly state your room number when you order. So, I'm in room 412, and I'd like to order the club sandwich and a soda, please. They'll often confirm the order and tell you how long it will take. It will be about 30 minutes.
Now let's talk about problems. Things can happen, right? Maybe the air conditioning isn't working or the shower is leaking. It's okay to report these things. You can call reception and say, I'm in room 207 and I have a problem with the air conditioning. It's not working.
Or the light in the bathroom isn't working, or there's a strange noise coming from the room next door. Be clear and simple when you describe the issue. They might say, I'm so sorry to hear that. We'll send someone to look at it right away, or we'll send maintenance up.
Remember, maintenance is the team that fixes things. If it's a really big issue or you're very uncomfortable, you could even ask, is it possible to switch rooms? But usually they'll try to fix the problem first.
Another common request is for local information. You might want to know about restaurants, attractions, or transport. You can ask, could you recommend a good restaurant nearby? Or what are some popular attractions in the area?
They often have brochures or maps, so they might say, we have some maps at the concierge desk, or I can recommend a few Italian places. Concierge is a person at a hotel who helps guests with services, like making reservations or getting tickets.
Yes, the concierge is like your personal helper. You can ask them anything about the local area. What's the best way to get to the museum? Or could you help me book a taxi for tomorrow morning?
And don't forget about using hotel facilities. If your hotel has a gym or a pool, you might ask, what time does the gym open? Or, is the swimming pool open now? They'll give you the hours and any rules you need to know.
So for during your stay, some key phrases are, could I get an extra item? I'd like to order room service. I have a problem with something. Could you recommend a good type of place? What time does the facility open? These are really practical for everyday situations.
Okay, let's move on to the final part of your stay, checking out. This is usually pretty straightforward, but there are a few important phrases to know. When you go to the reception desk, you can say, Hi, I'd like to check out, please.
Yes, very simple. They'll likely ask for your room number again. What's your room number, please? Or, may I have your room number? You give them the number, and then they'll usually prepare your bill.
They might say, did you have anything from the minibar? Or, did you use any of our services? This is just to make sure everything is added to your bill correctly. You can say, no thank you, or, yes, I had a soda. Then they'll present your bill.
When they give you the bill, you can say, could I see the breakdown of the charges, please? Or, can I review the bill? This is just in case you want to check everything carefully, which is always a good idea.
And if everything looks correct, you can say, looks good. How would you like me to pay? Or, I'll pay by credit card. They'll process your payment and then you're almost done.
Sometimes you might need a late checkout. This means staying in your room past the usual checkout time, which is often 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. You can ask, is it possible to have a late checkout? Or, could I get a late checkout until 2 p.m.?
They might say, yes, that's fine, or there's an extra charge for that, or unfortunately, we're fully booked today, so a late checkout isn't possible. It really depends on the hotel's availability.
Another useful thing. Sometimes your flight or train isn't until much later in the day, but you need to check out. You can ask, can I leave my luggage here after I check out? This is called leaving your luggage at reception or baggage storage.
Most hotels offer this service, and it's super convenient. They'll give you a ticket or a tag for your bags, so you can pick them up later. You can also ask, could you call a taxi for me when you're ready to leave?
And finally, don't forget to give feedback, especially if you had a really good stay. You can say, thank you for a wonderful stay, or we really enjoyed our time here. It's a nice way to end your visit.
For checking out, our key phrases are, I'd like to check out, please. Could I see the bill? Is it possible to have a late checkout? Can I leave my luggage here? And thank you for a wonderful stay.
All right, so we've covered checking in, during your stay, and checking out. That's a lot of useful language. Now let's take a moment for our practice section. This is where you get to speak along with us. Don't be shy, say these phrases out loud.
That's right, your mouth muscles need practice just like any other muscles. Repeat after me. First one. I have a reservation under the name, your name.
Good. Now let's try this one. What time is breakfast served?
Excellent. Next. Could I get an extra towel, please?
Fantastic. How about this? I have a problem with the Wi-Fi. It's not working.
One more time. I'd like to check out, please. My room number is 401.
Awesome. Keep practicing those. The more you say them, the more natural they'll feel when you actually need them.
Now, let's listen to a short mini conversation, a real-life example of a check-in. This will help you hear how these phrases fit together naturally.
I'll be the guest, and Ava, you can be the receptionist.
Sounds good. Take it away, Lily.
Good afternoon. I have a reservation under the name Lily Thompson.
Good afternoon, Ms. Thompson. Welcome to the Grand Hotel. May I see your passport, please?
Certainly, here you go.
Thank you. And will you be needing a credit card for incidentals?
Yes, of course. Here's my card. Also, I was wondering, what time is breakfast served tomorrow?
Breakfast is from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the main dining room on the ground floor. Your room is 710 on the 7th floor. Here are your key cards. The elevators are just around the corner to your left.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And just to confirm, is there free Wi-Fi in the rooms?
Yes, there is. The network name and password are on the back of your keycard holder. Enjoy your stay, Ms. Thompson.
Thank you.
See how smoothly that went? All those phrases we just learned were used in that short conversation. It just takes a little practice to make it sound natural.
Exactly. Now, before we wrap up, we want to give you some motivation and practical tips for improving your English fluency, not just for hotels, but for everyday life.
My first tip is, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Seriously, everyone makes mistakes, native speakers too. The important thing is that you are communicating. Think of mistakes as stepping stones, not roadblocks. Each mistake helps you learn and improve.
That's so true, Ava. My second tip is to actively listen. When you're in a real conversation, try not to just think about what you're going to say next. Instead, really focus on what the other person is saying. Listen for key words, tone, and context. This helps you respond more naturally and understand better.
Absolutely, active listening is a game changer. And my third tip is to practice daily, even for just a few minutes. This doesn't mean you need to find a native speaker every day. You can practice by repeating phrases from our podcast, talking to yourself in the mirror, or even narrating your own day in English.
Yes, consistency is key. Just like going to the gym, small, regular efforts add up to big results. Imagine how confident you'll feel during your next hotel stay, ordering room service, or asking for local recommendations, all thanks to your consistent practice.
It's all about building that muscle memory for English. The more you use these phrases, the more automatic they become. And the less you have to think, the more fluent you sound.
So, whether you're planning a trip or just want to feel more confident in your daily English, remember these tips. Embrace those mistakes, listen actively, and practice every single day.
We hope this episode on hotel conversations has given you a real boost. You now have a toolkit of essential phrases for checking in, managing your stay, and checking out, all in easy-to-understand English.
Exactly. You're well on your way to navigating hotel interactions with confidence. Thank you so much for joining us today on Thesaurus Thrive. We love helping you on your English learning journey.
If you found this episode helpful, please remember to hit that like button, share it with anyone who might benefit, and subscribe to our channel for more practical English lessons.
And don't forget to visit our website, thesaurusthrive.com, for more resources and ways to connect with us. Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep thriving in English.
That's all for today. We'll catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.
See you next time.